My role at CMC Markets is I'm head of product development. So basically what I do is I look after trading platforms, trying to give our clients the sort of features that they need to sort of, optimize their trading experience. Been with CMC Markets for 13 years and looking after the platform for about 8 of those. So first of all, I'll just bring up the CMC platform. Okay. Now, one of the factors of the CMC trading platform is its ability to be completely customized. So when you first start trading, a lot of the tools can be quite complex, and what we wanted to initially provide clients is an experience that's quite simple to use. So this is traditionally a layout that a client would receive when they first open up the account. You'll have like your product library on the left-hand side, talking through the different types of asset classes that you can trade at CMC. So you have a whole range of different products, from commodities to cryptocurrencies. You've got a range of currencies, indices, shares, treasuries, and ETFs as well. And the product library is not only a way of exploring which different products that you can trade, but you can actually use it as a type of a scanning tool. Here I've got the indices. I'll just make that a bit bigger. So we've got the indices. We've got a whole range of forward and cash products. So if I just filter that back down to the cash side, you can filter the product library by performance. So you can actually start to see which particular indices are going up or down the most in the last 24 hours. But we can also include change in volatility measures in there as well. So we can have a look at, let's say, the last week. Let me just add that in. So we've got the 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. So we can have a look at a short-term movement of what's happening in the market, and also scan based on longer-term timeframes as well. So you can have a look here and see, filter the change based on the weekly performance. So we can start to see there over the last week, Hong Kong has been the worst performer over that period of time. And if you look at the best performer, you're looking at the UK 100 index. Now that's just on the change side of things, but you can also add in additional volatility measures. So if we wanted to have a look at the volatility and see which markets are actually the most volatile in the index market at the moment, and we look at it over a longer time frame, you can start to see, if I filter this, the most volatile is the US NASDAQ. So when we're trading, we're obviously looking for volatility. We're looking for an opportunity to be able to take a position, and especially CFD and spread bet trading, which is more short-term trading. We're looking for products that have got a higher volatility, gives us a little bit more opportunity to trade. So you can start to use the product library as a way to start to break down which products might be interested for your trading day. So the product library gives you those that option. You've also got a whole range of ability to set up watch lists, so you can start to monitor those markets that interest you. Now we have a range of different ways that you can actually set up your watch list. Every client is different, and being able to customize the experience. You've got your traditional type of classic sort of layout, so you're showing just the product with the open, high, low, close, and you can start to add more or less columns in there as well. So if we can edit that table, add in additional, let's say the change, and again you can resize and reorder those as you wish. And again, we can then filter it by change as well, up or down. But you've got additional ways to also view it, and some clients like to see what's happening on like a mini chart, just to sort of get a bit of a flavor as to what the markets are doing. So here we can actually see all of the products that I'm interested in, and this is the popular products list that we automatically create. And you can start to see that we've seen a fairly upward moving market today. Gold was down initially, but then it started to go up again. So we can have a really quick sort of browse of all the different products and start to see where the markets have been throughout the day. So you can use this as a different way of sort of monitoring the market. And then when you find a product that you're interested in, you just simply click on the product itself, and we can then open up a chart and see further details. So that's another watch list view. You've also got quote panels. It's a quote panel view, a very really quick and sort of regular way for clients to trade. You can then turn on one-click trading. So there's an option here where If you want to get into the markets quite quickly and you just want to do a simple market order, roughly, around about, I think it's around about 80% of all trades are just naked trades, so they're just initially getting into the market. So we can actually then use the one-click trading feature, click on the buy or sell, and we're immediately into the trade. The last one, though, is the analytics. You can start to see we've got the mini chart in there as well. One of the most popular tools that we start to see clients using initially is client sentiment. So what are other clients currently doing at the moment? Now, what we tried to do is expand on that compared to some of our other competitors who've got sort of the same sort of tool, is we offer a range of different options. If I click on that, you'll start to see we have the number of clients on the left-hand side. So this is at this very point in time, and it's updated every minute. 64% of clients are long on pound yen, and 36% of clients are short. That's for all clients, so that's for everyone currently trading that particular instrument. Then we also have the ability to just factor in what our top clients are doing. Now, top clients are those clients that have made a profit on their account in the last 3 months that are trading this particular instrument. So here you start to see that 47% of our top clients are currently long and 53% are short. If I combine those two, you can see there's quite a difference between the two. So you can start to compare what all clients are doing versus our top clients. Now, this is based on number of clients, but you can also do it on position value. So traditionally, it'll be the number of clients that a competitor will show, but what we decided to do was take it one step further. Where is the money? Where is the actual money being invested? And at the moment, you can see that even though there's a net short position on the number of clients, the actual money is on the long side. So you can see here that our top clients, 87% are currently, their money is in the long position. So you can start to compare the two and see whether or not that sort of suits and backs up your strategy, or whether or not it's a contrarian view, which quite often sentiment can be. So you've got the sentiment tools. We also have Reuters News. You have Insights. Reuters News, there's also Trading Central built into that as well, so you can actually start to see key levels. And then Insights is basically our analysts globally around the world, and they are constantly providing updates on what's happening in the market. Let me just bring that back up. So we have a number of analysts scattered throughout the globe, and they'll be updating this on a constant basis, and they will give you a bit of a flavour as to what's happening in the market. So they can tell you what's moving, they'll give you intraday insights, they'll see when economic events are changing, and they'll give you an update in the morning as well. So here's the evening call, giving you a bit of an understanding of what's happening, and also the fact that sterling has snapped back. So you can get a bit of a quick update on what's actually moving the market. There are a number of other tools, but one of the big features of the platform is that it's fully customizable. So this is a fixed layout, so this enables you to actually move the individual windows and set up your screen, and the other windows will automatically adapt to the remaining space. What we traditionally have, though, is what we call a floating layout. So you might start with a fixed layout, get familiar with how to use the platform, but then after a while you'll actually start to use potentially a floating layout, and here you can actually really customize your layout. You can simply drag and drop these windows, and you can create as many windows as you like on the platform, and you can spread that over a number of screens if you want to. You can resize, and everything is double click, so if you wanted to go full screen, simply double click, create a bigger image of what you're after, and then double click to go back. So you have the option between having a fixed or a floating layout. You also have the option to have a light theme or a dark theme, if you like. So a number of clients, when they first start, they might prefer a lighter screen version of the platform. But over time, they might say, well, actually, at a certain time of the day, they'd prefer to go to a dark platform, and they've got that option as well. You can also have the platform main menu position. So a lot of platforms are moving to a side menu. You can bring that in just here, and now you actually grab the menu on the left-hand side. And what that does is you can actually hide the menu, so you can gain back valuable real estate. You can also press F11, get the full screen version. On any trading platform that you can customize, it's really important to have as much real estate as possible. So, we've tried to optimize the space so that you can fit as many things on the platform as you like. So if I go back to the fixed layout that I had before, the other types of trading tools that we've got on offer, you've got the market calendar. So if I double click on the market calendar, here you've got a whole range of different events. So we talked about fundamental analysts and technical analysts in brief before, but there are two types of traders. I'm very much somebody that believes that we should be looking at both the fundamental side and the technical. And I'll go over a couple of examples on Amazon and Tesla in a minute, just to show you how each individual one can impact the price movement. Some traders are very much just fundamental, and some are just very much technical, but you can incorporate both of them into your strategy. So here with the economic calendar, we've built in a couple of tools that are quite helpful. You can bring in notifications. So for example, tomorrow on the 5th, we've got the ADP national employment figures. I've set up an alert on this. So basically what happens here is that once the event is due to be announced, what we can do is we can set up a timer. Let's say we say 20 minutes prior to the event, I want to be notified that that event is coming up, and we can then push a notification to you to say that this event's about to happen. That allows you to then react in real time to the actual event and when it's about to happen. You've also got historical announcements. You can start to see the trends. And when you start to look at particular trends for, let's say, the petroleum report, so if you're trading crude oil, for example, you can start to see that we've seen over the last few announcements that there's been a general trend that there's less, it's been on a downward, petroleum status report has been on a downward amount, the amount of storage of crude oil. So we've also got quite a powerful charting package in the platform as well. So here we've got what we call a pattern recognition software. So here, if you are a technical analyst and you're looking for patterns in charts, what you can do is obviously within the charting package itself, there's a whole range of draw tools, technicals, and automatic patterns that you can add to the charts. But there's also a pattern recognition scanner that will actually scan the market for you and identify key patterns that might be emerging or breaking out. So if I click on the Australia 200, you can start to see here we've got a wedge pattern, a triangle, and you can see that it's broken out on the upside, and it will give you a price projection box. And now what we're waiting for here is we're waiting for it to break out, and then it gives you an area as to where the market might move if the pattern continues. So there's a whole range that are on offer there. If I go back here, you've also got, it scans over 120 odd different products based on commodities, currencies, shares or treasuries, and you can use that tool. But one of the most popular tools for any trader, and this is the most used tool on the platform, is very much our charting package. The charting package has a huge range of features that clients can use to analyze the market and identify trends. So as a technical analyst, what we're trying to find is trends within the market. And so if we find those trends, we can go ahead and try and exploit them. So one of the markets that we've been looking at recently is very much Tesla is one of the ones that is always regularly in the news, and something that we've put some basic technical analysis principles on there for you to have a look at. Here, we've got 2 or 3 primary indicators on technical analysis. The first one being a resistance level. So when we're trying to identify those trends, we're looking for key levels that clients can use to trade. So here we have the support level, and a support level is an area lower than the current market price where the buyers start getting back into the marketplace. And so what that does is it creates a trough, and you can see here that the Tesla market has hit there once, twice, 3 times, and then 4 times. And each time that it's hit that price level, it's gone up in value. Here, we also have a resistance level. So we can see a resistance level on Tesla roughly around about the 282 level. So 282, Tesla on 4 different occasions has dropped down in value. So you can see that once the market moves in this direction, it hits the resistance level and then drops back down. Again, hits this level, comes up to the same level again, and then drops down. Now there's 2 different ways that traders can look to trade this. They can look to a continuation pattern, so that the markets actually continue on that particular breakout. So when it comes down to the support level, we're looking to buy just above the support level and then place a stop loss just below. So what that does is that we think that the market will continue on this trend and it will keep going up in value. But we want to make sure that we put on our risk management levels. We want to make sure that we're placing a stop loss just below. So if the market does indeed break below and it breaks that particular trend, we get out of the trade and we only make a small loss and move on to the next position. With the resistance level, it's the opposite. We're obviously looking to believe that the market will retract at this point. So what we can do is we can put on a sell order and then profit from the market moving down. Again, trying to make sure that we put on a sort of stop loss just above, so that if it does indeed break above, which it did in this case here, we get out and we make a small loss. Now, when I was talking about the fundamental and tying in together technical analysis and fundamental analysis at the same time, here we had a situation where the market was moving down on Tesla to this point here. We started to see the same trend reappear. So we started to see the markets moving back up again. And we think, well, actually, the markets are moving, there's some positive news on Tesla. It's moving back up to that resistance level, and we can then potentially profit or exit the trade once it reaches that area. What happened was Tesla announced their Q2 report. Let me just bring that up. Background color. So they had their second quarter loss. They posted 408 million, which brought it in at 1.1 billion for the year. And you can see that there was a massive gap the next day. So once that report came through, which was their fundamental side of the news, we started to see the market collapse. So you can start to use technical analysis principles, but tie that in with fundamental as well. So, and we can start to also, on the charts, include, let me just, here what I've put on is also a line showing us when the next earnings per share is coming out. So by putting in the sort of primary indicators, so your support and resistance levels, and then you can also start to add your fundamental sort of news onto the charts as well to get a better picture of what the market might potentially do. One of the other tools is Amazon, or one of the other products that we're looking at. Now, this is where we've got quite a powerful tool in regards to our pattern recognition software. So here, quite often what you do with technical analysis is you're trying to draw in lines like support and resistance lines onto the chart yourself. Where here we've built in a tool which will automatically identify chart patterns for you. So there's a whole range that you can choose from. There's triangles, wedges, channels, there's double bottoms, triple tops, spike bottoms, cup and handles. And what it does is it scans the price action depending on the interval that you're in, and then it will then identify it onto the chart. So you can see here we've got a wedge formation forming on the chart. And so here we're in between sort of a support and resistance level at the same time, but we've now got a descending wedge formation. And so what we're waiting for is we're waiting for it to break out either side of that formation. So if it breaks above, we can look to potentially place a buy order. If we start to see it break below, we'll start to look to place a sell trade. And then once it breaks below, we've now got this support level here that can act as our sort of take profit level. So we're waiting for the market to reach breakout here, and then we've got an area where we can actually go ahead and potentially place a take profit. So one of the tools also is you've got the ability to trade from charts. So if I put in a £1 per point trade, if I add in my stop loss and my take profit. So here, if I think that this is going to break on the upside, I'm obviously going to buy, but I want to buy only once it's broken out. So there's a whole range of different order types you can use. A market order allows you to get into the market at the current market price. A limit order allows you to buy into the market below the current market price, and you've also got stop entries to buy in above the current. So if I just place in a stop entry, I set that just above the breakout level, and then what I want to do is I want to be able to use previous levels to actually formulate where I should put my take profit and stop loss. So here, I'll drag my stop loss level up, and I'll drag that somewhere within the actual pattern itself. So it's just below. So if we get a breakout, and then we see a false breakout, and it comes back down again, I make a small loss, and I move on to the next trade. And then I want to use other key levels for my take profit. So we could here decide to actually place it somewhere just below this previous high. So I can then drag that up, and then I can find a position, and once I'm happy I can then go ahead and place the trade. So the visualization of the trading from charts enable you to then potentially use key levels in the past to determine where your take profit and your stop loss might be applicable. So there's Amazon with the trading. You've got, again, if you are interested in adding additional technical indicators, so support and resistance and trend lines are purely what we call primary indicators. They are sort of the basis of all technical analysis. So they form the basis. They give you an idea as to when you can enter and when you can exit the trade. What we have, though, also is a number of secondary indicators or overlays and studies that you can add to the charts. Now, there's a number of popular ones that are used globally. So you've got MACD and RSI, which you've probably heard of before. And what this does is this actually helps you back up your traditional strategy. So if we think that this is a long trade, we think it's going to break above, what we can do is put on the MACD, and you can start to see that the MACD is also rolling up. Now, what we've got for all indicators in the platform is we have the ability to bring up we have the ability to show a whole range of education material based on that particular strategy or that particular indicator. So here, if you want to learn more about the MACD, you just simply click on the information icon in the settings, and it will walk you through all the different strategies that you can use based on that particular indicator. And you can do that for any indicator. So that's the MACD. But here we've also got the RSI. And again, if you wanted to learn more about it, just simply click on the question mark here, and it will give you a detailed description of what the RSI is trying to show you. But what we've got here is these two indicators are both sort of suggesting that there's an upward trend. We're starting to see the RSI break above the 30% level. So that's giving us a momentum. This is an oscillator. So basically an oscillator means it's moving between the two extremes. We've seen a breakout. It's gone above the 30% level. And it's moving past the 50. Here we've got the MACD. The MACD again is a momentum indicator. It's basically got to the low level, and now we sort of expect it potentially to go up a level. So here we have two signals that are giving us a buy sort of recommendation, and then here you've got the breakout. So if it does break above, we could potentially look to do a buy trade, but again, making sure that we put on our stop loss and take profit orders onto the trade as well. So you can start to use the basic technical principles like support and resistance and trend lines, but then you can start to use additional tools such as studies and overlays. One of the other overlays is your simple moving average, and you can add those at any different level. One of the popular ones is 200-day moving average. If I click on done. And you can start to see on Amazon, we're actually currently being supported by this 200-day moving average. So over the past 200 days, we average the price, it gives you the line, and quite a lot of traders look at this particular level, and we can start to see, well, what's actually happening here is that we're starting to see a number of levels of support on that 200-day. So you can see it's bounced off at once, twice, 3, 4, roughly around that level, and we've now started to see the market sort of go back up in value. So that's a way or a potential strategy in sense of using your primary indicators and then some of the sort of secondary indicators like MACD, RSI and moving averages on your charts as well. Also, though, that's the technical side. With the platform, it also offers you a whole range of fundamental tools, which I talked about before. One of those is access to Morningstar equity research reports. So down here, you can see Morningstar equity research. What this does, it gives you a really good one-page synopsis of what's happening on the Amazon in regards to the fundamentals. So you can start to see their financials. This is updated on a daily basis. So you can see their valuation ratios, their operating performance, and also the last, I think it's 10 years worth of financials. But the great thing about this is that Morningstar have also included their star ratings and also an estimated fair value based on their analysis. So what they do is they go ahead and they analyze the markets. They do this on a daily basis. What they do is they say, here's the last close, and here's what we think the estimated fair value is based on those fundamentals. So here it's basically saying it closed at 1790, but the fair value for them is 1,987. So they're doing the hard work for you. You don't have to go and have to learn all about earnings per shares, revenue or operating income. You can actually come on to their one-page summary and gives you a good picture as to what the markets are doing. So if we also, you could do that on Tesla as well. So if I just bring up Tesla Motors, if I go back into the report, you can see with Tesla it's slightly different. It's the Amazon was roughly fair valued. It was in the sort of middle area, where here you can see that Morningstar see that Tesla is actually currently undervalued slightly. They're giving it a 4-star rating based purely on the fundamental side of things. So it gives you a way of looking at the fundamentals without actually having to do the research itself, and it's powered by Morningstar. So another tool you can use if you are interested more in the fundamental side over the technical, but the platform does give you a whole range of different tools that you can use to cater for both. One of the great ways of getting into trading is very much, if you haven't traded before, is a lot of these platforms will offer you a demo account. CMC does offer a demo account that you can get access to both the web platform and the mobile app as well. So if you've got an app, you can or your phone, you can download the app now, you can get a free demo account, and you can start playing around with a number of these tools already. The best sort of starting position is just to learn a few of the individual products that you're interested in trading. If you've traded equities before and you're familiar with some of those products, it's worth having starting out with those products on the platform, get a flavour as to how spread betting works. One tip, I guess, is that £1 a point in UK equities is worth 100 shares. So if you wanted to buy 1,000 shares or the equivalent, then it'd be £10 a point. So you can learn about the technical analysis and add those to the charts, try and figure out where those key levels are. You can use the pattern recognition scanner to sort of do some of that hard work for you. And then you become familiar with what actually moves the market. So for equities, obviously there's earnings announcements that come out on a regular basis. You can start to apply them to the chart so that you're not shocked when the market moves quite rapidly due to some sort of figure announcement. If you're trading sort of crude oil inventories, for example, or crude oil, you'd be looking at what is happening on a weekly basis. Crude oil inventories come out every week, and they tell you how much storage there is in the crude market, and that will then impact whether or not the price of the shares go up or down, or crude will go up or down. You can start using fractional amounts. So you can start small. For example, on the US 30, you don't have to trade £1 a point. You can start as little as 0.1 pounds a point. So you can start small, get familiar with how these markets move and how the product is offered. And then the last one there is very much about learning about risk management, because as I mentioned before, a lot of trades are placed naked, so they're placed without a stop loss or a take profit order on the market. And the markets can move very, very quickly. There's a lot of volatility in the markets, especially if you're trading around events. So making sure that you look at your money management, look to risk to reward, and also adding in your stop loss and take profit order settings. There's just a couple of images of the mobile app. As I said, the mobile app is quick to download. You can get a demo account and you can start to trial out some of these features. On the mobile app, we've also got access to some topical watch lists. Basically, what we do is we go ahead and analyse the markets, and we'll find out which of the products are hot at the moment, so which ones are actually outside of their moving average. You've also got ones that are mentioned by our analysts, and also the ones for price movers and popular products.